Well, hello and welcome to the Mix 6 podcast as part of The Mix, the UK's leading digital support service for anyone under 25. I'm your host, Tom Pinks, and taking you along for this journey of 6 questions over 30 minutes with one guest. And it's a very, very exciting episode today as we're joined by a rapper and mental health advocate who uses the power of music to embrace and conceptualize what he's been through in an effort to break down stigmas and support thousands of young people across the UK and beyond. This is a bold introduction, but it's all true.
I was just about to say, is he talking about me?
It's definitely you.
That introduction is powerful now. Thank you.
It is an absolute treat to welcome Shocka to the Mix 6 podcast.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Thanks for having me, Tom.
You're more than welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm real good.
You ready for a podcast?
Yes, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah. Cool. Well, the idea is that we base the next 30 minutes around 6 questions related to you and the topics that you represent. And all of those questions are obviously going to unpack several more questions. So we'll just go down all these different roads and see what we come up with. But before we head into it, we normally kick things off with the quick fire 6. So these are really snappy questions to help the listener get to know you a little bit more. Shocka, are you ready?
Let's go.
Number 1, favorite day of the week?
Ooh, normally a Friday, but as of recently, every day started to feel like a Friday, which is a beautiful thing.
That's good. I feel like life's complete when you feel like that.
No, definitely, yeah. Every day started to feel like a Friday now, which I love.
Good to hear. Question number 2, invisibility or super strength? What would you go for?
Ooh, probably invisibility.
How come?
Because I'm a person that just likes to blend in anyway. I'm not like, even though I do what I'm doing now, and I'm always like, in the forefront speaking. Apart from that, outside of this, like, I'll be on the train just blending in. I'll be at a party in the back blending in. So visibility will be cool. I just, hope that I don't use the invisibility to do anything like, wild or like spy on anyone. Like,
rob a bank or...
Yeah, well, I mean, what? Yeah, probably invisibility.
Yeah. Question number 3, where's your ideal holiday destination?
I want to go to Egypt. My friend went and he's been telling me a lot about it. He's just saying it's super surreal. Like,
how come? What, pyramids?
Yeah, exactly. He's saying the whole experience. And like, I'm really into that stuff. So I would love to like go to Egypt and just put my feet on that soil and just see that history. That would be amazing for me. And nice. I know like all these song concepts will come to me, like just seeing that.
Make an Egyptian style album. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Or something beautiful will come out of that. Definitely, I know it will. I would love to see it though.
Question number 4, what's your favourite city, Shocka?
Ooh. Not even being biased, but probably London,
Question number 5, your favourite fruit?
Oh, that's who picked these questions?
This is young people. Young people put them together.
Yeah, I like their favourite fruit. Now, today is probably a kiwi.
Nice, good choice.
Yeah, not just introduced, but like probably about a couple of years ago. But
yeah,
I never used to like them or even wanted to go near them. But then I tried them, and now like that's probably the favourite fruit, a kiwi.
You're hooked. You're on your 17th already today.
You eat the skin and like, changed everything. Yeah, kiwi.
What? This is news to me. You can eat the skin of kiwis.
Yeah, so you can eat the whole thing.
What?
yeah. I saw it on like, like social media's got all this like information nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know where I saw it, but I just saw it. Like, eating the skin is healthy, and I thought, oh, is it? And then I did it, and I was like, okay.
I feel like I think that's quite controversial. Yeah, I've never heard about this before.
That. Yeah. I saw it on like one of those healthy pages or something like that. And it was just talking about kiwi and eating the skin.
Shocker's just walking around London with a bag of kiwis, eating them like grapes. And then question number 6, on the other end of the spectrum, what is your least favourite vegetable?
Broccoli, it's got to be.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah. You
definitely,
didn't
man.
didn't even hesitate there.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan.
Yeah. Fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair enough. Right, but I guess that sets us up quite nicely for the main event, the Mix
yeah,
Six. So, as I said, 6 questions all about you, Shocka, and your journey and what you represent. And I
yeah.
think it's a good way of starting by telling us about your journey so far. What inspired you to start making music in the first place?
Oh, what inspired me to start making music? I had a friend that started doing music before me. Like we was doing music together. Everyone knew us two for doing music together. But he started first, and we used to go football training. There's a guy near me. His name's Casper Sterling. He's a legend. Like if you type his name into Google, you just see all the famous people he's trained before as and
Hmm.
turned into football players. And he got an MBE from the Queen, and like he's just a legend. And we used to go football training. He used to train us. And I came into football training one day, and my friend was like rapping, like we called it MCing, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this? How are you putting these words together?" We're really young, by the way. We're like 13. And I was like, "What is this?" And I was so fascinated. And from that day onwards, um, yeah, I tried it myself. What I used to do, I used to rap other people's lyrics, and people will be like, and people find out the actual person's lyric that it was, come back to me and be like, I don't really like it. I like the way you said it. Like you got a gift of like saying that. So I was like, all right, let me try my own. And then I tried my own, and then I've been on the journey ever since. But what really initially started it, even before I think this was before or after. So that same football training place I told you about, they
Hmm.
do something called a presentation, where like every year they have this big party, and the guy will give out awards. So he'll give out top goal scorer, most improved player of the year, players. I won players play. I think that's the best award you can get. The fact that other players vote for you, like to say he is like proper sick. So I
Hmm.
won players player of the year.
Nice.
And then after they do that, they have a party and they invite someone to come and perform. They invited a group called Heartless Crew to perform. I don't know if you've ever heard of Heartless Crew, but
No.
yeah, you might have not heard of them, but they're huge where I'm from. And they
Hmm.
invited them to perform. And yeah, I saw them and I was like, this is so cool. Whatever they're doing, that they've got everyone like smiling and jumping up and down. I want to do this. So like, and I got to speak to them recently, which is like a big full
Nice.
circle moment. Seeing them as a kid, and then someone calling me and saying, "I've got someone that I want to introduce you to," and it was one of the members of the groups in Heartless Crew. And I thought, do I fan out here and tell him that like he's the reason I'm on this path, or do I just keep it,
What did
keep
you
my
do?
composure? I did a bit of both. I did a
Okay.
bit of both. I told him, yeah, I'm a big fan, and I kept my composure. So, but when I see them in person, because I think I might be going on their one extra radio show soon.
Nice.
When I see them in person, I'm gonna like fan out and just tell them, look, you guys don't understand what you did. Even if it would, I don't even know if they'll remember. That was years ago when they came to like perform. But if they do remember, that would be sick. And I remember you came to perform in Bruno Farm. I was one of those kids. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's how the
Yeah.
journey started.
Nice. And any other football awards recently?
No, no, no. My football
No.
days are over. I got like a stomach and like yeah, yeah. I'm just rapping that.
Moving into question two, sticking with your music,
Yes,
your latest album, Vulnerability is the New Cool,
yes,
it aims to dismantle that stigma
yes.
surrounding being vulnerable and being more open.
Okay.
How did you, Shocker, how did you become comfortable with vulnerability? And what challenges did you face during that journey to being open with your mental health, especially in your music?
I've always had a level of vulnerability in my music, but it went to a whole new level after I ended up in section. After I got sectioned, and I experienced real life. Do you know, like being sectioned is like I can't explain. Like you go through embarrassment, being there, your friends coming to visit you, family. Even though these ain't things you should be embarrassed over, but like it is for me. Like it was a big hit to my ego at the time,
Hmm.
and all of those situations just brought out like before that I was just rapping about like girls and clothes and the fun stuff. And then when I went through that experience, my lyrics just changed. All my friends noticed my lyrics just changed. I started rapping about like women that's been abused and like I started rapping about homelessness. I started rapping about world love. I started rapping about all these deep subjects, and no one could understand what happened. No one, if you didn't know that I'm in section, then all my friends that knew that okay, cool, he went through something, and now like I think it was. Is it the Buddha story that he used to be a prince, and
Yeah.
then he went into the world, and then he saw all the what was going on, and then like he said
Hmm.
he's leaving home and he's gonna. That I kind of feel like I relate to that story so much. It's like I was shielded from the world, and then like I saw what is behind the curtains, and then it changed me forever. Then yeah, my lyrics just got deeper and deeper. It's been like that ever since. But in terms of like the second half of the question of what I faced, I faced a
Hmm.
lot of like backlash from family. My family didn't like me speaking about sexually. I'm from an African background, Nigerian parents, and like
Hmm.
in the African culture, they're really private, especially about stuff like that. They're loud about the positive stuff. So when I signed my first record deal, my mum was asking me how much comments did it get on Instagram and like proper into it. Ah, what does everyone think? But then when I posted a picture up of like her coming to visit me in hospital, there was a picture that someone took. She was like, take it down, remove it. Like no one, don't show no one that. And I thought like it's like yeah. So that's like most of the biggest backlash I faced. I remember I had a BBC One Extra documentary they wanted to do with me, and I had to tell my mum that like I'm going to the park. And I disappeared for like 3 hours, and I remember I came back and my mum was like, "That was a long trip to the park. You must really enjoy the park." And I couldn't tell her like, "No, I wasn't really in the park. I went to do a documentary." But those are the stuff I had to do. I had to do a lot of
Hmm.
ducking and diving. Like, so
How does that make you feel? Because it feels like you were stuck between a rock and a hard
I
place. You
was,
had this urge to make music that spoke to you, and
yeah,
it was, by the sounds of it, the most authentic, genuine music you've ever made.
yes,
Then, on the other hand, the people, um, your loved ones around you,
yeah,
are completely the opposite, and they're
yeah,
feeling that no, you shouldn't be making this type of music.
yeah.
What was your anchor during this
Yeah,
point?
that
How
was
were you getting
difficult
through?
because, like, if there's anyone you want to support you, you want your friends and your loved ones. And I had none of them. My friends didn't understand it at the time. They kept
Mhm.
telling me my music's depressing, no one's going to play this. And then my family was telling me, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, this is not something to be proud of. Do you know what I mean? And then, so yeah, it was difficult at the time. And what was even more difficult is that there wasn't no examples before me. I did
Mhm.
a talk for the NHS like 2 days ago, and I was with another speaker, and he was speaking about neurodiversity, and he was talking about like all the famous people that's neurodivergent, like Robin Williams and Tom Cruise and all these people. And I was thinking, oh, you're lucky you had that as like a motivation to keep you going. Whereas like
Mhm.
I didn't have no famous people that had been sectioned, or maybe there was, but like no one speaks about that. So I mean, about everyone hides their sexual experience. So I remember looking on the internet at a point of like who had been sectioned before and like got backlash from their parents and like, well, what did they do? And I couldn't find no one, so I literally had to like lead the way, not because I
Mhm.
wanted to, but I was forced to. What else was I going to do? Is either I quit this mission or I just keep pushing on and hopefully a path opens up before me. And that's what happened. I just kept going and going, and then before I knew it, um, yeah, my family came on board. My friends came on board first, and then family came after.
It took them a while, but they're finally very supportive and
Yeah, for sure.
appreciative. You've just reminded me of a phrase. I can't remember where it came from, but it's if you don't have any idols or heroes or inspirations around you, just be one. Like you
Yeah,
have to be one, and it's
definitely.
absolutely what
I
you've
wish
done.
you had sent me that at the time.
Yeah, but going back to what you said about the Buddha's journey, you sometimes have to go through this hardship, I guess, in order to become who you want to be and who you are underneath all of these layers. Um, Moving into question three, we're sticking with music and diving into a bit more about the subject of mental health. What role does music play in your own mental health in terms of how is it helpful? How are the two linked?
It depends how people use it. Some
Hmm.
people just use it just to like without purpose, really. They just use it and just go into the booth and just record whatever. And then there's people that use it purposefully. And I've done both. I've used it before just to like, just to rap for the sake of rapping. Then I saw artists like Bob Marley and like Tupac and Nas, and I saw how they was actually using it for different. They was using it to heal themselves. They was using it to heal others. They was using it to make people dance. They was like doing all sorts of things, and I didn't know you could do that. I was like, oh, this is great. You can do that with music. So then I started like doing that, like using it for like therapeutic things to the point where like family members and friends find out stuff in the music than in real life. So they'll listen to a song and be like, oh, I didn't know you was feeling like that. So like they more so wait for the music to come out to find out like my real thoughts. That's
Mm-hmm.
how like personal the music is, which is crazy. But I kind of like that too. I kind of like that. I like the fact that like it puts more attention on the music too. It's like, I can't wait to show because I'm going to hear like what he
Yeah.
really felt about that relationship.
Mhm.
Not what he told us. Like, yeah, the breakup was alright. Then you hear my music and I'm like, I hated the breakup. And then like, I knew it. That's what he really felt. We knew that's how he felt. So like, yeah,
It's, it's almost like, oh, I wonder what Shocker's thinking. Oh, I'm going to have to wait for the next EP.
yeah. No, seriously, seriously.
um, question number 4. Can you tell us about a specific moment or an interaction where embracing vulnerability in your music or public life has had a powerful impact, either on you or especially with somebody else? How has your music resonated with somebody else?
I've got so many cases. I get messages every day. As you can imagine, my DMs are like filled. I woke up to a few messages this morning. But when did it start? I think it started from the first EP. There was a song called "Be Yourself" on there,
Mm-hmm.
and this girl messaged me. I looked at the message the other day. Actually, I don't know how I went back to the message, but I found it. But she messaged me saying her partner had committed suicide, which is unfortunate. That the music, he loved the music so much, but it wasn't enough to save him. But she was saying before that happened, he used to play "Be Yourself" on repeat over and over again. So she basically reached out to me to thank me for like making him hold on for just a bit longer through that song.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that was like really sad, but inspiring to me at the same time. Because that's what that song was for. If you listen to that song, you know what I mean when you hear it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was the first time I received like feedback like that, as in like it's touching someone. And then yeah, from that point on, it just wouldn't stop. And it's weird because like when I was in a group, I used to do like a lot of metaphors and similes and stuff, like those fancy kind of rapping whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to get compliments like, um, I love your metaphors, I love your similes, just one line compliments, or they might just state what the metaphor was and be like, oh, this was really clever. Now it's transitioned into like paragraphs of like, I relate to this, what you said about your dad, my dad, and that's much better. Like it's a much deeper connection. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually got that from Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar was like when I came out of hospital, someone told me to listen to. He's got a project called Section 80. I don't know what part of Kendrick Lamar's career you've jumped on, but I came late. I came Good Kid, Bad City times, and I had to go all the
Mm-hmm.
way back. So he had a project before that called Section 80, and I remember I listened to this project every single day without fail. It was such a breath of fresh air. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. And like he was so honest, he was so vulnerable, like he was saying stuff that I always wanted to say, and I was like, this is it. I had that same feeling that I had when I saw Heartless Crew. Remember when I saw it
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid? I had the feeling again. This time I'm older now, and I'm like, this is it. Like how he's making me feel. I want to move people like this, and I did. And so, and even in my book, which is here, I've got a chapter that says "Thank you, Kendrick Lamar." So hopefully, if I see him one day, I'll do that.
Let's talk about the book. Where did the inspiration for the book come from? You've just shown it here, but for people who are listening, it's a biography.
Yes. Yeah.
And what is it? What is it about the story that you felt like it needed to be told?
I didn't want to tell it at first. So it started
Mm-hmm.
off as poems. The book's called A Section of My Life. And the idea actually came to me when I was in hospital, out of all places. But yeah, when I was in section, um, my auntie did something that was like different. So all the previous times I've been section, my mum never gave me my phone. because she was like, as I remember before I told you about being private and like, so she was, I'm not
Yeah.
going to give you your phone because you're going to talk to people and let them know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So she was, when I get out, then she'll give me my phone and I'll see all the messages. Obviously, my mum passed, so my auntie doesn't really know like how my mum does things. So when she came to visit me, she gave me clothes, she gave me food, and then she gave me my phone. And I remember I could have stopped. I could have said, no, take it back. I don't have my phone while I was here. But I was like, let me just keep my mouth shut. So I took my phone, went back to my room. And I remember looking at the phone and I was thinking, what am I going to do with this? It's the first time I've had it. Like, this is weird. Like, what happened? And then as soon as I said that, everything just like downloaded into me. Like, oh my God, you should take pictures. You should take videos. No one knows what mental health hospital looks like. You should show people, even if you get in trouble, show people videos. And then I remember Tupac had a book called A Rose That Grew from the Concrete. And it had all these poems that he wrote in prison and like all these poems. And I was like, oh, that'd be amazing if I did something called A Section of My Life. And it had all the poems while I was in hospital because I know my fans would want to know like what my thoughts was. Anyway, did all of that, got out, sent the poems to someone. They came back like 48 hours and said someone wants to turn it into publish the book, whatever. But they've got one condition. There was like, it can't just be poems because if people read your poems and it's got section in every poem, they're gonna want to know why does he keep bringing that word up? What happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you should tell your story and we'll put the poems at the end of each chapter. And I was like, oh, that could be good. And then yeah, that's what happened. That's what forced me to tell the story because I still wasn't trying to tell this actual story. But yeah, then I told the story. It's got the poems at the end of each chapter. It's got questions as well that you can answer, and people are really loving that. That like
Nice.
the questions and like, so that's how it came about.
And is it a bit like when you're writing music, you felt like writing your story and this time of your life did it act as like a release? Did it
It
help
did,
in a way?
yeah,
Yeah.
very therapeutic, and it was
Mm-hmm.
frightening as well because like with a story, I mean, with lyrics, it's like you can only squeeze stuff into like 3 minutes or whatever. This is like you got so many lines to go in detail. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead
Mm-hmm.
of saying I just went to the shop, because in the song I'll probably say I just went to the shop,
Yeah.
or I had to stop because I saw a cop. Do you know what I mean? I can't really get in
Mm-hmm.
depth. Whereas like in a book, I can tell you why and how I felt when I saw the cop. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's what was scary because it was forcing me to get in more and more in depth. So like yeah, vulnerability definitely played its part in this book. It plays its part in different areas actually, like in music, in books. Um, not that much in conversation. I'm working on it, but I want it to. But yeah.
Moving into question number 5, what advice would you give to young people who may be struggling with their mental health and who want to start using art or music as an outlet?
So let me start with the second part. So the second
Mm-hmm.
part about using music and art as the outlet, I think they need to see what it looks like. They
Mm-hmm.
need to see someone that is using it as an outlet and
Mm-hmm.
see what that looks like. Because when they see what that looks like, it's going to do two things. It can either overwhelm them and think, this is a bit too scary. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Or it can totally like inspire them. So I think like go listen to Lauryn Hill's album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Go listen to Kanye West's College Dropout. Go listen to all Kendrick Lamar's albums, all of them. Go listen to J. Cole, Forest Hill Drive. Go listen to Nas's albums. Listen to people that are using their art to affect people and just
Mm-hmm.
see how you feel. Hopefully you feel like me and you feel like, yes, this is incredible. And then, yeah, that will be your journey. And in terms of advice, I would say there's a saying that says information changes situations. And it's true. When I look back now and think, what is the biggest thing that changed between the Shocka then and the Shocka now? It's knowledge. I've got so much knowledge and like sectioning. And don't forget, I knew nothing about sectioning. Even when I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I didn't even know how to spell it. I always
Mm-hmm.
joke about it. Like after the SCH, it's like I get lost. So I know so much about just mental health in general because everyone's
Mm-hmm.
attacking it and everyone's bringing their stories to the forefront and bringing their information. So I'll say get as much. I think knowledge brings you peace of mind. I think a lot of people are stressed in society because they don't know what to do. But they're not knowing what to do is because they don't have the information. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a
Mm-hmm.
sat nav, if you want to go to Burger King now and you put it in the sat nav and it gives you the address to go there, you have peace of mind. You just got to follow the address. Even if you get caught up along the way, you see a friend and he stops you to speak. after he finishes talking with you, you just continue your journey. Whereas like where most people get lost is that like they don't even know where to even go. They haven't even left the house yet. They don't know where to go. So I think knowledge brings you peace. Like,
Yeah.
so I think like get as much knowledge as you can around the situation.
100% agree. I think that brings us nicely to the sixth and final question. This was suggested by a mystery young person. It's a really good one to end on. Obviously, we talked a lot about stigmas during this conversation, and this young person wanted to know, what is the number one stigma you hope to break down through your music and just through who you are?
They got some good questions. I need to meet
Good
these
question.
students.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to come there to the building one day. Oh, probably that people that spin section or have diagnoses like schizophrenia can't function in society again. I think there's a big stigma that like once you've been sectioned, that's it. Like, do you know what I mean? And I've met so many people that's been sectioned. They're doing so well. Like they got jobs, they got relationships, they got kids. Do you know what I mean? So like that is a stigma I would love to break. I'd love it to get to a point in the future where like if someone's been sectioned of like, I don't care, Shocka was, and he was a Grammy Award. Do you know what I mean? That would be like the thing that everyone uses. Like, so look at Shocka today. He was a multi-millionaire and he had a, you know what I mean? So like that's the goal. That is the goal.
I think just that's the perfect ending to this great conversation. If people want to find out a bit more about you, how do they get involved?
Instagram, definitely. My whole journey is on there from beginning. Sometimes I go to the bottom to my first post. Hopefully, like when it gets to the point where I got like 5,000 posts, I can't do that anymore. But now I go to the bottom to like my first post, and I just go all the way up, and I just think I can just see from like before I had dreads. You know what I mean? I can see my hair changing, and that is crazy. But yeah, I think Instagram's the best place. Shocka_artist. It's got everything on there.
Amazing. Thank you, Shocka. And if you want to get involved with The Mix, just search The Mix UK on Insta, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, we're probably there. And we have tons of articles and resources on The Mix website. Just search for mix.org.uk. There's only one thing for me to say, Shocka. Thank you so much for today, and hopefully catch up soon.
Definitely.